How do you reconcile relationships in your life and ministry when you have very conflicting doctrines? And it might be a personal conflict going on here, but also might be, we tend to walk with ministries, we don't have complete, agreement with our doctrines.
I actually intentionally bring people in to speak, as you know.
Yes, I remember those days, yes.
Bring people in that we don't agree with, but they're good people. They're people of prayer, they're abandoned to the Lord. And it just doesn't hurt us to be exposed to other segments of the body to where we learn how to eat meat, throw out bones. We learn how to celebrate who people are. And it comes down to, they have a specific thing in mind usually when that question's asked, but it's a general question. So I can miss it altogether. But if it's an essential thing, like the blood of Jesus, they deny the effect of the blood of Jesus or the virgin birth or whatever it might be. That's different. Then you have to draw relational boundaries.
Yeah, and you're not going to. You haven't had those folks into our congregation to speak.
I have not.
Yes,
I have not brought
all the majors we agree on. It's the minors.
Exactly. It's the the role of angels, or you baptize in the Spirit, you speak in tongues when you get it, or later, or not at all, and end times and devastation is those things. There's opinions that are very diverse, and we have our convictions, what we feel are right, that we live by, but I'm not going to exclude people that think differently. And you just have to get to a place where you can celebrate who people are without stumbling over who they're not. That's what that's kind of one of the mantra of the culture of honors is to really celebrate what God is doing in a person. Wesley and Whitefield I think is a great example. They were so diverse, and they were at odds for a season. As I understand it, I wasn't there, but I hear they were at odds for a season. And one of Whitefield's associates or friends said, I don't even think we'll see Wesley in heaven. And Whitefield responded, yeah, I think you're right. He'll be so much closer to the throne than we are that it'll be hard to see him from where we are. And he was responding, obviously, in honor, wanting to honor one that he had really grown in affection for. So, part of it just comes down to that. If it's an essential area, if it's a family member, that's one thing. With family, it doesn't matter what anybody believes, you're together. You just, I'm not going to touch on touchy subjects. There's enough other things to talk about in life without offending or hurting people. If it's a board member or a staff member or a church member or a pastor down the road, there's different degrees of relationships, and you just learn what wisdom is. When do you bring the subject up? Do you at all? Is it an essential part of life? And we need wisdom for that, because it's so easy to lose a war and win a battle, so to speak. Well, I won that argument, but I lost a friend forever. Well, that's not right. That's not healthy. And the value of people is huge, and even if they're wrong, because all of us, my approach is that every one of us believes something that's not right. And we're convinced we're right. We are. We're all in process. And so we just need to give each other that whole grace thing. Show mercy, because you're going to want it later.
We have that phrases on one of our visitor documents in the majors, unity, and the minors, liberty, and but in all things, love.
Excellent. Yeah, that's right.
And that came out of one of those guys that right after Luther passed and Calvin passed, they were all just trying to kill each other over getting doctrine right. They were just there were lots of separations and church splits and theological schools. And finally, this guy Rupert something or other, he came up with that phrase, and we've seen that just in our lives as a congregation, in our lives, even on our own team. We have some different understandings of certain doctrines or end times, that sort of deal. And people are often surprised by that, like there's no standard. They're like, what's this Bethel standard viewpoint here? I'm like, I'm not sure there is one. I know Bill's got one, Chris has one, I have one. And we just enjoy each other and, draw the strength from each other and oftentimes learn something new from each other.
Absolutely. I think it's a huge part of life. I think that's what we're supposed to learn to do. Because it's in associating with people of diverse gifts and diverse views that we get healthier. We don't become ingrown. And that happens so much by only hanging out with people of the same opinion. You just you become fortified in opinion, but not necessarily in maturity.
When we were working on the doctrinal statement, of the church, and partly by design, it was a big tent. It was lots of folks could find comfort and go, I agree with that.
Yeah.
In the way that we did that, and so many times that in denominations they've parsed things so clearly that as far as end times or gifts of the Spirit, that their belief statement actually separates and divides, maybe too much.
Yeah. I think the thing that Chris has been really started pronouncing here several years ago is that when you come together based on agreement, then you have to divide when there's disagreement.
Yeah.
But when you come together around fathers, around mothers, then it's in a family Thanksgiving meal, you can have a Republican daughter and a Democratic son and a Libertarian cousin. I mean, you can have all, and you're all together and thankful.
And if they value each other, they're going to treat each other with grace and civility and respect.
Exactly.